So the FBI has raided Epstein's island yesterday, and they started going through all of his stuff, which is not so crazy to think. I mean, there's a channel out there that does drone footage of that island. This guy's been, I guess he's got a really cool drone, very nice one, and he's been surveilling the island and putting it up on YouTube every day for the past, I don't know, 2 weeks. And now the FBI is there, and they're going through all of his stuff. There's quite a bit of time between Epstein's arrest and this raid, so there's a fair chance that a lot of the incriminating evidence has been swept under the rug, burned in a fire, or buried under the ground. But I have a feeling that they're going to find a lot of stuff regardless. I mean, if they bury it underground, it just becomes an archaeological dig for. I've never watched CSI because I don't watch a lot of TV, but I assume since CSI is all the rage, that those guys actually know what they're doing, and they're going to find some stuff. And as I warned people before, they're going to find stuff on people that you feel like, hey, that's a favored celebrity. I can't imagine that person got wrapped up in it. I heard just recently, I don't know much of the details yet, but George Clooney his name got thrown out there. I guess one of the people who's accusing Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell of molesting her as a kid said that she was also shared with George Clooney. Is that right? Listen, I hope I'm not getting that wrong. I don't want to throw Clooney under the bus, but his name did get passed through the Twitter sphere in connections to the case, and he's one of those guys that I would certainly go, wow, that one, he was Batman for a little bit. It's kind of I'm hoping it's not true, I guess, but I'm also not going to be terribly surprised if it were true. I think what happens when you get that level of fame, because Clooney was on Facts of Life, like way back in the day. And I remember reading the stories about Clooney saying that he was told by his agent that he's just not good looking enough. He's got an odd shaped face, and he's never going to be a sex symbol. Then he ends up being sexiest man alive. So, they find a way to propel the people in those circles. They find a way to propel them into a status that gives them the level that they're all looking for, I suppose. But then you also wonder, what do they have to do to get there? There have been, for years, there's been rumors about the stuff that Tom Cruise had to do, because he was pretty young when he went to Hollywood, and made risky. It wasn't Risky Business. Wasn't the first. All the Right Moves was the first one, and then Risky Business, and that's when he took off. And the speculation was that he had to do something for some people, unsavory things, in order to get that role in Risky Business, which of course made him a huge star. And are there people like who go through high school who are just kind of like normal people, but who strive for great things? Like, I was in drama club for 4 years, so I had that little bit of hang of, boy, I'd love to be a celebrity someday, when I was younger. And are there some people who get a shot and are said, we will get you that thing that you've been dreaming about your entire high school career? At this point, you're still a kid, right? You're 18 years old and you hit Hollywood, or 19. You're still, even if you're under, if you're under 22. You've got all this energy, and you've got all these dreams, this life ahead of you. You've seen all these things on celebrity that Hollywood has put in front of you in magazines and Entertainment Tonight, if you remember that TV show, all those things. And they say, we'll get you that life. All you need to do is service this guy over here, service this woman over here. Are there people who are going to jump on that? Sure. And doesn't that put the camel's nose under the tent of all the other unsavory things that could happen? Fueled by parties that are just, you can't even believe the kind of parties that go on. Fueled by the drugs and the alcohol that happened there. Ecstasy was a big thing for a while. It just made everybody wanted to touch everybody, right? That was one of the things that he did. It was like a euphoria. It made you like super, super loving. So what kind of things can happen when you're under the influence of something like that? And then the next morning or a couple of days later, the regret sets in and the pictures show up, and they're like, listen, now that you've done this, we've got this evidence, you're going to have to do this for me from now on. And just to keep quiet, because you get to enjoy your beautiful, wonderful, rich, extravagant life, so long as you keep your mouth shut. And then when we need you, we'll call you. Do I think that happens? Sadly, I do. And kind of knock on, so kind of, what's the phrase they use? Thank God for unanswered wishes, right? Because thanks God for unanswered prayers. That's the song. Because I think I probably in my high school heady days thought, wow, that's really what I want to be. I want to be a celebrity. I want to be a movie star. But for me, it was always just about telling stories and playing out characters. I don't know that I had such a drive for, a huge mansion on the beach and crazy wild parties. I was never a partier in high school, and I'm not so much one now. And I wonder if I would have changed. Who can say, right? Who can say? But never, it didn't come to pass, thankfully. And yeah, I think I probably could have been easily corrupted. I don't think it would have taken a whole bunch. So in that way, I have sympathy for people who get caught up in this web. Anyways, Epstein's Island's been raided. I'm sure we're going to find out more. Even today, I'm kind of excited to get in and hit the news channels real quick before I start work to see what I've missed between yesterday and last night and today. And maybe they'll come out in drips and drabs. I feel like they're releasing information in drips and drabs because once we find out how horrific it really is, if they just put it out in front of everybody, immediately people would just close their ears and like, I don't want to, that's just too much. I don't want to have it. But by putting out in drips and drabs, it kind of gets us a little bit of a taste and like, oh, that's pretty bad. All right, well, and then your stomach settles a little bit, and then there's a little bit more, oh, it's so bad, but your stomach will settle, as opposed to, again, getting flooded with it like a fire hose. That's my feeling of the way that this stuff rolled out. And this maybe that's overthinking it a bit, but regardless, I just want it to come out so that the people who do these horrible things get punished. The ones who are underneath a veil of blackmail, they get freed from that blackmail. Maybe some of them may be forgiven for having get roped into things that they really didn't mean to get roped into. I'm kind of okay with a little bit of reconciliation, so long as it's not like a really super heinous act. But again, I'm not the victim of these things, so how would I, maybe I shouldn't speak to that. Reconciliation for the truth to come out, I think is a worthwhile goal, but not reconciliation if someone has done grievous harm. All right, you can't reconcile that. Victims need to get their justice. I certainly believe that too. Wow, that was quite a bit of a rant, but again, I am waiting for the store to open, so I've got some time on my hands. It looks like they are opening up. All right, you all be good. Please like the channel, subscribe, maybe forward it over to some friends if you feel like they'll get some interest out of it. And again, just be patient and wait, because I think more information is coming out shortly on this Epstein thing. All right, talk to you soon. Cheers. All right, so I'm going to show my shirts and your shirts.
Okay.
And
wait, but they don't know what.
I think they can tell whose are whose.
Yeah.
So they could buy the new Gorilla versus Grizzly.
Yeah, they could buy that, which is your first fighting one.
Right, or they could buy your Captain Marshmallow.
And my Thanos.
Thanos Walker.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see which ones they buy. Thanks for visiting the store.
Thanks. Hello. Bye-bye.